Hey everybody, this is Jake from Testosterone Trips. Here I am now 1 week out of my surgery, my corpectomy on C5. You can see here the stitching. Well, actually, the stair strip is what it's called. That covers up the stitching, which means that I have taken a couple of showers now, and it's slowly working its way off. Basically, it's once it comes off on its own, I'm supposed to pretty much leave it off. So anyhow, just wanted to kind of bring you a 1 week update. I've kind of intentionally not done the last 2 nights of recordings, mostly so I could give myself some time to probably gauge what's better or what's not better since my surgery. So I'm going to kind of probably go down the list again because I have a better idea of where I'm at 1 week off. Again, keeping in mind that when you get a corpectomy or you're getting a discectomy or whatever it is, they're really looking at maintaining the function that you do have, whatever function you've maybe lost. So not so much improvement, but there's been some improvements, and so I just want to kind of go through those. I was told that I would have a sore throat for basically 2 to 3 weeks. I have no soreness in my throat at all. And again, it's a week after. I really haven't had any soreness at all since 36 hours after my surgery. In fact, I got out of the hospital and the next morning after a decent night's sleep. I had no soreness at all in my throat. Now, I did have some issues swallowing some, and if I don't chew my food down pretty good, I still could have an issue with the swallowing. But generally speaking, I've kind of, I indulged a little bit last night, and I had fried chicken. And if I'm eating fried chicken, and again, I have to chew it down a little bit more than I probably normally do. I probably normally eat it like a dog in very large strips and chunks. But it's well on its way to its mend. I have no pain at all. I do have some tingling in my right hand on the pinky, the full length of the pinky. It's tingling a little bit. I have just towards the tip of my ring finger on the right hand. Maybe from like here on, there's some tingling, but nothing below it where it was before. And both fingers really felt pretty arthritic before. Neither one of them feel as arthritic, although that could just be my spinal cord just kind of still going through the motions, trying to figure things out. After all, it's been compressed for quite some time. I did have some pain in my rotator cuffs, gone. I had some right side ulnar pain, radiating kind of pain. It wasn't painful, I guess. It was more of a tingle, and then that kind of radiated a little bit down my forearm, gone. One of the main reasons I got the surgery in the first place was because for years this disguised itself as a hip injury, to the point where we were ready to replace the hip or maybe do an arthroscopy on the hip. I still have some hip rigidity. I'm not so sure that isn't from some arthritis that I have in there. It's been cool the last few days, and so that coolness has really kind of made it pretty tight. But I don't have pain there. It does feel a little weak on the right side near the hip, but generally speaking, it is much better. I do still have some hip clunking. I thought I was getting rid of it the last couple of days, but again, maybe the cold thing is, I don't know, my spine might not be like 100% perfectly aligned. I don't know what the deal is with the hip clunking, but that is an issue that we'll be looking into in the future. Probably the biggest disappointment so far is constipation. So like I said in the previous videos, it wasn't uncommon to have somewhere between 2 and 4 days of constipation. Occasionally I might get a 5th day. but I am now. I, I had a movement on Friday after the Wednesday surgery. It's now the following Wednesday, and I have not had a movement since last Friday. So it's now in my 5th day, and that's been kind of aggravating. I think the part that's been difficult with that one is I have the sensation of I have to go to the restroom, have a bowel movement, but every single time I get on the toilet, it's always gas, and sometimes it's a lot of gas, and sometimes it's not a lot of gas, but it's always gas, and it's never been the constant movement. Now, my diet has been more controlled, I'd say, than it has in the past in regards to diabetes, in regards to eating better. I don't know if my body's going into shock for the first 3 or 4 days. It was mostly liquids and really, really soft food. So I'm not sure if there's any issue with that. I was experiencing urination delay. So again, that's for me would have been I got up and would have to go to the restroom, and when I go, I'd sit in front of a toilet for like a minute before it would even trigger, even though I had the sensation of having to go. Now, if I have to go, I go. So I have no more issues with that. I did have some leg tremors, and just to kind of give you a perspective on the leg tremors. When I woke up, they were gone. Now, when I say leg tremors, I'm talking about, they would move like this. It was pretty significant, and it was more significant on my right side than on my left. And now they're not tremors, but I can kind of feel a tingle every once in a while when I go from sitting to standing. But again, I'm doing a lot of sitting right now because it is, I'm supposed to be resting my neck. So been doing that, and again, I don't know how these are all interrelated, but I just want to go through the experience with you to let you know that if you're experiencing it, you are not alone. As time progresses, again, my spinal cord was compressed probably for the better half of 3 to 4 years. So there was some slight myalgia, which is the bruising of the spinal cord, in addition to the compression. It was not a significant bruising, but again, I don't know how much this bruising is going to affect function. Additionally, there were many lesions on my spinal cord, and I don't know how those are going to affect things going forward either. But that being said, one of the things that I am still dealing with is leg sensations in regards to heat or coolness. If my leg were to get cut right now, I'm not 100%. I'm not going out of my way to check it, but if my leg were cool, if I were to cut my leg right now in the past, I would not have felt that. It's something that would just it'd bleed for a while, and I'd get home and my wife say, "Hey, you cut yourself," and I'm like, "Oh, I had no idea." So I don't know where I'm at on that end. I fortunately have not had it cut or whatever. And then I had significant right leg pronation, and my right foot drug as I was walking in my gait. That has improved almost 100%. My muscles and my tendons and my ligaments are getting used to walking, as I am trying to do a lot of walking. I think yesterday I finally got up to 30 minutes a day, which probably doesn't seem like a lot to you, but when you're bound in the house, it's a little bit hard to do 200 laps in a kitchen. So anyway, so I am trying to walk a lot. It's probably not enough, but I'm trying. And again, I'm not suffering through the right leg pronation nearly as much. My knee will feel a little bit funny, but again, my knee might be getting used to a new gait. So anyway, I had significant leg weakness. Man, it was significant. It was so significant that the inner part of my thighs were starting to tingle right before the surgery. And I know that can be a sign of potential paralysis. So the leg weaknesses while it's not 100%, it is much more significant. I would say I'm up to about at least 80% right now, maybe even 90% where I was at 40 to 50. My sphincter control is much better. I do have occasional moments where I can't control the farting, but again, that may have something to do with the spinal cord healing. I don't know. I had diastasis recti. Again, I will not know how that goes until after I'm able to kind of have more mobility in my neck, because it's a lot of the stretches that I would need for that and strengthening I need for that, I cannot do with my neck in the position that it's in. Bloating, still bloated. I think that has a lot to do with the constipation. I was having bloating before. I'm still bloated. By far, the bloating is less comfortable than the constipation, because at least right now with the constipation, even after 5 days, I'm not 100% septic, where normally before I would have been septic. Yeah, so I've had that. Bloating has been bad. Hernia. I had a hernia on my left side. It was the inguinal hernia. I really don't feel that at all. I barely felt it before, unless I had a really strenuous bowel movement, and then I would feel it a little bit, but don't feel that. I'm really kind of not pushing myself on the bowel movement to push through that, because I don't want to, disrupt the hernia and have some issues that I didn't have before in regards to bowel movement. So it's a catch-22 a bit. Blood sugars have been good. Actually, my blood sugars have been a lot better. I went to Ozempic, like I said before on a previous video, and they've been better since. I was bad for the first time really last night. I had a piece of cake last night. My wife is a teacher. Well, we're both teachers, but she got a cake for Teacher Appreciation Day, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a piece of cake. So I had a piece of cake, but that's not too bad for the last 4 weeks. I have noticed less on the leg drying, like had flakiness, ashiness on the legs and the feet. It's still on the feet, but it seems like the leg ashing is actually reduced. And again, maybe it's just I'm inside, I'm not outside, so I'm not having the exposure to the sun and things of that nature, but hopeful, right? And then, my toenail fungus, I had that before. Yeah, still have it. I'm pretty sure that's a diabetic issue, but yeah. So there I am at 1 week out. Those are some of the things I'm kind of going through. I don't know if you can relate if you are watching this video, but if you need any advice or you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below, and then please like and subscribe to Testosterone Road Trip so you can keep track of my journey. All right, you guys have the best day ever. Bye-bye now. See you in a week.